April gave us springtime.
See how it is?
It's so gentle. It's gentle spring.
Can you believe it's April? Really?
No, well, I can believe it's April because it's my birthday and someone's going to get me some
my
big
gosh.
wine bottles.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And bacon. There's so many things that we have to get you.
Yes, there are.
Oh my gosh. Well, the celebration just isn't
Go to
one day.
yourhomewizards.com to discover what size I am for my birthday present.
Right. Eric Stromer, Cindy Dole, we love to help improve your home and improve your life. And thanks for sharing part of your weekend with us. And by the way, boosting the value of your home is something that doesn't have to cost a lot of money. And so we thought we'd talk about that. I mean, the economy is coming back. We're going to be going to several home improvement trade shows. We go to the Kitchen and Bath Show coming up in a week.
Yeah, and
in
you know
Chicago.
how we tell that it's coming back?
Because people are going?
And more vendors show
More
up.
of
And
these
everybody's
companies.
got money to invest again.
And then when you're around these different companies, the Kohlers, the GEs, the Whirlpools, all these brands, and you talk with the heads of the companies and their marketing people, their PR people, and they're smiling. And they're starting
that's because
to
they're not going to get fired because it's coming back.
Yeah. And so the real estate market is slowly looking a little bit better. You're seeing people are feeling more comfortable to sell their home, right? Anyway, thought we'd talk about whether you are improving your home just for yourself or you're maybe thinking that you want to improve it for the next guy. How do you boost the value? So
and you'd be surprised how simple and inexpensive these things really are to kind of make that a possibility.
So let's talk about it. So what about creating some more space?
Yeah, I'll tell you, the number one thing I think that you can do, if you have one of these galley kitchens that is, closed in and you walk into one room, into another, and it's like this isolated kitchen like they used to have. And a lot of these builders did this for years. Think about knocking out a wall. Like, for example, they'll have the range a lot of the time on a common wall. If you knock that wall out, it's generally just going to be framing that you can take away without having structural issues whatsoever. But obviously always consult somebody that would know that before you do. But if you just take a wall out like that, it's probably about a $600 to $800 project if you hire somebody to do it. And then re-drywall that area. And then you have this open space so that you're sharing kitchen and living space, and it gives you that feeling of an airy, open floor plan. That is a huge difference in terms of the perception of your home.
Now, in perception, I think that when you hear the word knocking a wall out, I think the perception is big dollars. Thousands
it really
of
is.
dollars.
Exactly, and it really isn't a big deal. It's a couple of days of work, and I think you could find people right now that would be able to do that for you for very little money.
You'd have to first maybe do, you'd probably have to call the city, right?
You're not changing square footage, so no, you could get away with just having it opened up. It would be like just creating an architectural detail by removing a section of the wall. So please don't be intimidated by this.
But wouldn't you have to check the structural safety?
You would, and you would want to have a contractor poke his head up in your his or her head up in your attic to make sure that's not a bearing wall.
Right.
And the way that you can see that is when you look in the attic, if that wall just sort of dies at the ceiling and it doesn't continue up to the top of the roof line, then it's a safe wall to remove.
Okay.
So yeah, give that a thought and a possibility. And again, don't be intimidated. Just make sure you do your due diligence before you do that.
Because we took out that wall in our kitchen project.
Yeah, and yours was a unique situation. You had a bearing wall and had to have a huge beam.
And the roof was sitting right on top of it.
Exactly
and
right.
so we had to add another beam,
Right.
But boy, what a difference opening up a wall can do.
Yeah.
And it's you never regret that.
No, you don't.
Another thing to think about, which again is so inexpensive, and I think because we get so busy, you might just kind of put it down the bottom of your list. It's just taking care of your front yard.
Yeah, if the house looks like it's the Munsters home, from the old TV series, and everything's overgrown and there's brush and debris, it just looks like it's an abandoned, unkempt home, and it's not going to feel like it's got the value that it should. So clean up, get somebody to come in if you're not going to do it yourself, and trim up the trees and, shape up your bushes and, do some inexpensive landscaping fixes, and you will be amazed the curb appeal that occurs after you do that.
Yeah, I mean, just the basic pruning, the basic maintenance of your trees. Because sometimes trees and shrubs, without really paying too much attention, a year goes by, 2 years goes by, it doesn't take much time. They really can grow. And then it starts to look kind of dangly and messy and, like you say, monster-like.
Yeah, and if it's
looking.
too overgrown in front of a primary light source window in your home, then you're going to have
Right.
that sort of dark hovel feel to the room. So definitely make sure you cut stuff away from windows.
And landscaping is one of the top three investments that bring the biggest return.
That's right.
So spend your weekend taking a walk around the property, looking at maybe there's a tree here or there or a shrub here or there that might just need a little TLC.
That's right.
Or maybe you want to add a few new ones. In fact, in our next segment, we're going to talk about some really stunning, must-try new plants.
Yeah.
that you're gonna love.
Also, if you can coax your gardener, if you have one, to do something other than just blowing dirt around the property. Just say, could you please prune the area a little bit? You'll be surprised what'll happen. Yeah.
Hopefully they'll use the right pruning equipment, not just chop everything off.
Yeah.
We don't want trees lopped off.
No.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Letting in light is huge, right? That's one of the number one things that people love. Just like as we were talking with Gregory Parker with the Pasadena Showcase House, what a difference it made to add some of that lighting, that track lighting in the pantry.
That's right. It's anything from a tiny little sonotube, which is like one of those skylights that goes up to the roof, and it's about a 12-inch cylinder that you can actually have installed very inexpensively. It'll give you that light source in a hallway, for example, during the day. If you've got one of those dark little hoveled walkways when you come into your home, if you have some light source in there that's natural light, it really makes a huge difference. Give that a try.
Yeah, and in terms of also making more light come in, pay attention to maybe broken pane windows.
Right.
Right?
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
you're gonna see that, and when the window is looking great, that itself will bring in more light. And
Yeah, and
brightness.
also, this may go overlooked oftentimes, but wash your windows on the outside and the inside. It really, again, the quality of light that comes into the house with a clean window is completely different than the dingy, dirt-caked windows that
the
most
pollen,
of us have.
the pollen windows. We have a lot of oak trees on our property, and it's amazing how just in a week's time there's like this little yellow film. It's not fairy dust.
No, it's not. It's grime.
It's pollen,
Yeah.
and it makes its way over our patio furniture and over the car. So watch out for that. Don't put off the boring stuff, even though I think the fancy upgrade is sexier. But before you think about the kitchen, you got to think about the basics, right?
That's right. For example,
Your attic.
leaking drains or plumbing systems, or anything that looks like it's
The furnace, making sure
oh,
the
yeah.
furnace works.
cleaning out your filters for your heating
And the air
conditioning.
and the air conditioning.
Right.
It's that time, in fact, because before you know it, we're going to be complaining that we're too hot,
All right.
that it's summertime.
I'm too hot. Is it because my filter's caked with like so much dirt that it looks like cottage cheese is on there? That you have to
Ew.
change these things every couple of months.
Going green is still very, very much a great bang for the buck kind of a thing. And we're not talking about the most expensive things necessarily. You could get a solar-powered water heater, for instance. Not only is that going to get you about a couple grand back in green tax credits, right? It's about $7,000 for the unit. I mean,
Right.
that's a little pricey. That's cheaper than solar panels for your entire roof.
No, there's no question.
But a solar-powered water heater, you're going to save about 80% on your water heating bills. Have you thought about maybe getting a new water heater?
Yeah, I sure have. I love them. I actually have one of those instant
Well, you have a
hot
sauna.
water makers.
That's your heater.
I have no
Show
toxins
off.
whatsoever.
Really?
Well, yeah, because this thing leaches it all out of you from the sweat.
I didn't think you were toxic at all.
Don't you think I look
You're
better?
not. No, well, you looked great already.
Well, all right. Anyway,
but I see what you mean. It's a healthier glow.
there's a glow. It's like a whimsical glow.
It's a whimsical.
It almost looks as if I'm with child.
So
That's
any-
how good I look right now. You know what
like
I
a
want?
halo
yeah.
effect.
What I wanted to say too is, something that I did last week at my own home was these LED yard lights,
Right.
and that's just about a $75-$80 fix. A lot of these big box stores sell these kits of LED lights that literally use, I would say, virtually no electricity, and you don't have to change the bulbs for 15 years. When somebody comes over and you can say, I've got these LED yard lights, wait till you see it at night, if they're interested in buying the house, that seems to be sort of an unattainable thing to do yourself, and it's so easy to do, but makes such a huge impact at night.
Huge impact because everyone wants the outdoor space. I mean, we've talked about that numbers of times that the outdoor space is like another room. It increases the value of your home because it's almost like you have put an addition onto your home. And
Yeah,
so
that's
why
right.
not have lights?
Yeah. And then another thing, too, we want to consider the front door. Obviously, when you first come to the house, if you're going to, potentially buy this place, it has to be a welcoming, open
It has to be
environment.
cheerful.
Yeah. It can't be dingy,
And
dark.
the doorbell should work.
Oh, please. Yeah, it really does have to work.
Don't you think?
Yeah, and even a porch light that works too. That's a huge thing. If the electrical is perceived to be not working properly, then you're going to possibly lose a sale.
And I like the doorknob to look nice and shiny.
I do too.
Get a nice door knocker.
And I also like to have all those flyers and penny savers that are on the
They're
ground.
not there.
No, they
No.
got to be gone.
No.
Yeah.
And what's under your feet is important. I mean, don't underestimate what you're standing on. I mean, a flooring project. We're not fans of carpeting as much, are we?
No, we like the hardwood.
I think I like the hard surfaces better.
Yeah.
We're
Or even a tile entryway would be great. Some little upgrade to give
And
you
laminate, it really has made a comeback. I mean, there's some.
And I love the way laminate feels on the foot. It's got a little bit of a cushion to it because of the barrier that goes, from
Right.
the slab between the product itself.
But the
It
laminate
really,
that looks like bamboo, let's say, or the laminate that, I mean, it might be more within
so
your budget.
many options,
Great.
very inexpensive. That's totally a flooring system you can do on your own with just a
Totally.
little bit of work. Yeah.
Well, we have found some really. Oh, there he is, Mr. Fix-It-Man
Hey,
singing.
that's my song. Yeah.
There you are.
There I
Well,
am.
when we come back, we're going to talk about some really cool new plants that are out on the market that I think you're going to love. The color and the texture, some fun things to try in your garden this weekend. Home Wizards, that's Eric Stromer singing right there.
That's
I'm
right.
Cindy Dole. We're back after this.
I'll make it tight.